Hi guys, it's Night Fear, and I'm coming on to do my June wrap up. Now, I've read 26 books this month, but a lot of them are either I've wrapped up on my Queer Lit Readathon or my Whatever-You-Want-A-Thon Wrap Up. So I will link both those wrap ups below so you can find out about those readathons and what I read there. I just have a few books that I didn't mention there that I want to tell you about. So the first one I read, which I started in May and then finished up in June, was The Fate of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. And this is the third book in the trilogy, in the Queen of the Tearling trilogy. Say that 5 times fast. And I absolutely loved the first book. The second book was okay. The beginning of this one was pretty good, and then, I don't know, it just got lost somewhere in the middle, and I hated the ending. And I ended up giving this book 2 stars. I'd heard that it was bad, this last book. And then when I started the book, I was like, no, this book is really good. And then I got to the ending, and I was like, yeah, this book is really bad. So, I don't know. I would not recommend the trilogy, but definitely the first book is amazing. I loved the first book, and I wished that I enjoyed the rest of it as much as that first book. So, and then the next book I read was The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. Now, I really enjoyed this. This book I gave 4 stars. This is about a world where the classes are all birds. And so the upper class is the phoenix, and then the lowest class is the crows. And we're following a main character who is a crow. The crows, there is this plague that kind of decimates the kingdom. And the crows' job are to come and give mercy, basically to kill the plague victims, because there's no cure. And then take care of the body so that the plague doesn't spread. And they are looked down upon, even though they do this service, but they are looked down upon. And so we follow her and this band, and this prince and his bodyguard die, and they are to give him mercy. And it's the leader of the band that gives mercy usually. And then the rest of the band just helps. And we find out that the prince hasn't really died, and he's asking for help because the queen is trying to kill the king, because it's his stepmother. She's trying to basically kill the king and take over, and she's tried several times to kill the prince, and we go from there. And it's really interesting, the banter between our main character, the crow, and the bodyguard, the prince's bodyguard, is amazing. I read it through audiobook, and just loved it. And then later in the month, while we're talking about this one, I actually read the second one, because it's a duology called The Faithless Hawk. And it follows right from this one. And she actually becomes a leader in this one, and we're still following basically the same thing from this one, but it gets the stakes are a little heightened in this one, and I ended up giving this one 5 stars. So I really enjoyed these books. I would highly recommend, and I would highly recommend the audiobook, because the audiobook was absolutely amazing. It just, the person who did them, she did a marvelous job. Okay, so then the next one I read was Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. This is another good book. I rated this one 5 stars. This one is about a world where this, okay, so you have these woods that are kind of evil, and they're spreading, and nobody understands why they're spreading. And then she's training to be an assassin for the queen, and something happens. Her best friend ends up dying, and she brings her back to life. And so they're kind of running, and then she gets summoned by the oh, I can't remember what he's called, but he's the king that lives in these woods that kind of is responsible for holding that back the woods. But she is summoned from him, and it kind of goes from there. I cannot wait to read the second book, because this book was really good. The lore of it, and the, like, what's going on, and what why is the queen doing what she's doing, and it's just, it's really interesting. It's political, but then it's not. I don't know, it's just really good, and I really liked our main character and her best friend. The interaction between the two of them was pretty amazing, and the friendship is it's so good, and I really, really recommend this book. And it's a little dark in places, and it's just, I don't know, it's really good, and I really, like I said, I can't wait for the second one. Okay, the next one, this is the month of either I really liked the book or I just didn't like it. This was one that I really didn't care for. This is The Unbroken by C.L. Clark. I gave this one 3 stars. I started out pretty good, but then it just, I don't know, there's just something about it I didn't like. This one is about our main character who, along with a lot of her people, were taken from this planet, and they were basically trained to not use their language, to not sing their songs, to not worship their gods. So they were civilized, and they're basically drafted into the army. And so they're going back to the planet where they were born. Or not the planet, the place. It's not a planet. It's not a planet. I'm sorry. It's the kingdom where they were born. And the princess is with them. The princess is trying to become the queen, and she is trying to take back her throne from her uncle. Because see, this was the very beginning of the month, so I'm trying to remember this one. Okay, and then so our main character ends up, something happens, and her and the princess meet, and so they kind of interact. And then there's a rebellion, and there's just all kinds of stuff going on. And some of the stuff I didn't see the characters, like from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. I just didn't see them doing what happened in the book, if that makes any sense. Sorry. So anyway, I gave this one 3 stars. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue, because I think this one is a series. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with this one or not. Sorry, guys. The next one is Ruin of Stars by Lindsay Miller. Now, I absolutely love the first book in this duology. I didn't really care for the writing style, but I loved the characters. I loved the banter between our main character and the love interest. I liked, this is the one that was totally gender fluid. We didn't know, and I think I know what the gender of our main character is, but I'm still not for sure, because it's never really stated, which is awesome. And I love that about it. Now, this one I gave 3 stars. It was just very revenge. I mean, the first one kind of is, but this one was like it on steroids, like revenge on steroids. And a lot of what happened, I don't know. I did really like the ending. The ending was really good. I liked the way it ended up. But I don't know, there was just something about it that I didn't enjoy as much as the first one. So I had to give this one less, so I gave it 3 stars. But this one, however, I would recommend reading the duology, because like I said, I did love the ending. I love these characters. And I hope that Lindsay Miller writes another one similar. Not similar, but like a character that we, is very gender fluid, that we don't know that they're non-binary, and that we have no clue what gender they were born with, and that's all right, and it's a normal thing, and it's wonderful, and I really liked that. So but yeah, I would recommend this, even though I didn't enjoy this one as much as the first one. So, oh yeah, and by the way, I told you guys I was going to read mostly queer, and I did. I ended up reading, out of my 26 books, 22 of them were queer. So I'm very proud of myself. Okay, so the next one I read was Darius the Great Is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. I hope I pronounced that right. I gave this one 5 stars. Absolutely love this one. Have the next one waiting. Oh, I think I just got it on audiobook from my library. And I listened to this one on audiobook also. I really enjoyed this one. This is about a boy who's kind of questioning everything. He's not feeling, I don't know, he's just not feeling right. And his grandfather ends up getting sick, and they have to go to, is this one Pakistan? Hold on, let me think. Oh no, Iran. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They're going to Iran. So he's never been, so he's meeting his grandparents for the first time, he's meeting his cousins for the first time, his aunts and uncles, all these people for the very first time, kind of immersed in the culture, and then he meets this boy, and this one is supposed to be queer, and it kind of is, but not, because it's not really stated, and he's not dating anybody. But by the end of the book, we're kind of getting that feeling. So I'm looking forward to the next one, where I think he explores that even more. But yes, I would definitely recommend this, and you definitely get the feeling of the culture and things like this. And I really like that. I really like the interactions with his parents and what he finds out about his grandparents, and just, I don't know, it was a really good book, and I would highly recommend it. Okay, so the last two are both by Jennifer L Armentrout. I think she's becoming one of my faves authors, but this one is The Brightest Night. This is the third one in the Origin series. And this one takes off from the Lux series. I think it's the Lux series. Hold on. I have to get a sip of drink. But it takes off from the second one. And we're still following our main character and the alien that she met. Or, he's not really an alien, but anyway, I can't tell you that much because it's the third book, but it's really good, and I can't wait for the fourth one. And I really need to go back and read the first series, because it's not that it refers to stuff, but I have a feeling I'd be understanding a lot more if I read the first series. But yeah, I would highly recommend any of Jennifer L Armentrout's writing. She just, I don't know, she's one of those writers that just sucks me in, and I really love them. And I gave this one 4 stars. And then the last one I want to talk about is Grace and Glory by Jennifer L Armentrout. This is the last one. This is the last book in the trilogy of I can't remember what the trilogy or what the beginning. Sacred to Rage and Ruin, but that wasn't the first one, I don't think. Will it tell me the first one? Probably not. Nope, never mind. Anyway, this is a third book, and this is her series about gargoyles, which are the wardens. And then this is it's a second, she seems like she likes to write a first series and then go like years later and take maybe 1 or 2 characters from side characters from the first one and then write about them like for another series. So this is what she's done in this trilogy, was take some characters from one of her other series. But I love the gargoyles, and I'm so sad, and I hope she continues and writes another one, because I love these characters, the demons and the wardens, I don't know, it's an amazing book, and I love the snarkiness, and I love the demons. I would like one of just about the demons, just write them for those perspective, because it's just, I don't know, some of them I really like, and they're just, ugh. But anyway, I would highly recommend this series too. Like I said before, anything of Jennifer L Armentrout. So, but anyway, those are the books that that I hadn't talked about before, and like I said, I will link the rest of them down below. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought. And I will see you again in the next video. Please remember to always be kind to one another. And that's all. Bye!